Yeah, I started already.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Vikram, you can start. I will start the recording.
Sure, sir. Just a moment. All right. Okay, team. So let's start now. So once again, good morning, everyone. Today we are here to discuss about this SAP Ariba. So in today's session, we are going to talk about what is the SAP Ariba and whatever the solutions Ariba is offering. That's something we'll talk. And we'll try to discuss at high level about the all over Ariba solutions, and we'll understand how actually we can map these Ariba solutions with the customer business process. That's something we'll discuss, right? And I'll also give some light on this Ariba implementation project as well, how actually Ariba implementation is going on, and whatever the process we have to actually follow as part of the implementation. That part also we'll discuss in today's session. Okay. But before going to start the topic, let's have a quick intro call. And let me first introduce about myself, then I'll come to you as well. And from your side, I would like to know about your experience, whatever experience you are holding. And even if you know something about SAP Ariba, you can mention that part as well, right? And what actually you are expecting from this training, if you can mention that point also, so it will help me to drive this session. Okay. All right. So let me first introduce about myself. So as you know, my name is Vikram, and I'm working in SAP from last 15 years. So initially, I was a part of the SAP ERP team, and I was working as SAP MM consultant, right? And as part of my MM experience, I have done the two implementation in SAP MM, and even I have supported multiple clients as well, right? And then after that, I moved to the SAP S/4HANA, and I have done the migration of the SAP ECC to HANA migration. So I have done one project, and later I moved to the SAP Ariba. So as part of the SAP Ariba, I'm basically working in SAP Ariba from last 7 years, I would say. And as part of this experience, I have done the implementation of almost all the modules across the different customers. So I have done the implementation of the Ariba supplier solutions, sourcing modules, even guided sourcing as well. Even I have done the implementation of the contract, buying and invoicing, guided buying as well. Recently, we have done the implementation of the commerce automation and supply chain collaboration also, right? And even I have done one migration project as well from CI9 to CIG also. So I have done the implementation of the CIG. Okay. I'm also certified in Ariba. So I have done my certifications in the Ariba CIG. Even I have done certifications in Ariba supply chain collaboration. I'm also certified in SAP S/4HANA sourcing and procurement as well. Okay. So currently I'm basically based out in Bangalore location. So I'm in India in Bangalore location, and I'm working as like, that Ariba MM consultant. So I'm taking care about this SAP Ariba and the SAP MM offering. All right. So that's it from my side. If you do have any questions about me, you can ask. Otherwise, I would like to go with you. So if you can introduce about yourself, that will help us to drive this session smoothly. Over to you.
Myself, Madhava. I'm working in EY. I
Mhm.
am handling in SAP MM. I have 3 years of experience in SAP MM.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's an I thought to learn upgrade of myself into Ariba. I know SLA part, upstream part in Ariba, downstream part I need to learn.
Okay.
Yeah, and moreover thing, what are the implementation things, and what are the enhancements is going on in, and MIC part, CAG part also I need to know that in SAP Ariba in training.
Okay, Madan. I got it. So, Madan, just one question from my side. So, you have worked on this Ariba upstream, or you know how the process works in the
Upstream,
Ariba.
previously one company in 2020, I worked for 6 months in upstream module.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, they have I have resigned that company and I went for another company. For SAP I worked for two and a half years.
Got it. Thanks,
Yeah.
Madhavan. Okay, can you move to the
And
next?
which company are you working right now?
I'm working as a freelancer.
Oh, freelancer. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
got it.
Thanks, Madhavan.
Yeah.
Can we go to next? Can we go with Ketan? I think Ketan, you're not audible. Okay. Can we move to the next, Habir? Or anyone who would like to
Yeah,
introduce about yourself,
yeah.
you can go
Good
ahead.
morning.
Hi, good morning.
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, good morning.
Hi.
Yeah, myself, Syed Saber Hussain, and my education background is MBA Finance and Marketing. And my past experience, 10 years experience in as a ERP consultant, but with a different ERPs like Focus and ERP Next. So
Mhm.
I have worked with multiple domains like finance, sales, and procurement, and HR and payroll. Now, just I'm looking to switch my career from ERP next to SAP. So, could you suggest me how I can go, and if it's suitable to directly switch to Ariba?
Okay. So you do have the experience in the ERP next, right?
Yes,
Okay. And you are aware
and
about the
focus
procurement as well,
also.
as you mentioned. Okay. And as you mentioned, like you have got on the other area like procurement, sales, right? And even I
Yes, yes,
think logistics also, right?
yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Okay. So you can do that. So basically, like to learn this SAP Ariba, we do not have any kind of prerequisite. Like you should have the something like let's say ERP experience or non-ERP experience. It's not mandatory. Okay. So even if you want to switch your career in SAP Ariba, so if you see Ariba is really doing very good in the market, we have lots of like that opportunity in the Ariba. Okay. But since you are having some knowledge about this procurement, then you can easily learn with this learn this Ariba. So definitely it is going to help you in your career. So I think it's not the very hard thing, right? That's the right decision, and you can easily go with the SAP Ariba. But thing is
Okay,
that
one more.
one thing I would like to suggest here. So learning the Ariba is not like that. Just we only just learn the subject part. That's it. So you should have the good command on this subject as well as a system hands-on. Then definitely you are going to get lots of like that opportunity in the Ariba itself.
Yeah, and just can I know for that job if I
Mm-hmm.
go into the market, so
Mm-hmm.
they are asking for only directly if have Ariba, it's enough or no? They are compulsory. We have to do that SAP and and Ariba as well.
Okay, that's a good question. So see, basically, it's not mandatory. You should have the an experience or knowledge about the SAP right? Even if you say, I have seen that in many cases, the persons who are very having good experience in the Ariba side, but they are completely blank from the SAP ERP side. Okay. So having the knowledge of the SAP ERP side is not the compulsory, but of course, if you are having the knowledge or experience about the SAP ERP, like in SAP or S4HANA sourcing and procurement, that definitely going to give you the more advantage because in that cases, as an Ariba consultant, you can take care about the SAP Ariba part as well as you can take care about the SAP part as well, like how I'm doing. Or earlier, I think Madhun said he's working as the consultant, right? So when he will learn this SAP Ariba, then he can showcase like himself as a MM and Ariba consultant both. So this kind of advantage you will get, but it's not compulsory. You should know the SAP MM. It's a kind of add-on. If you know, that's really very good. You don't know, that's something also fine. It's manageable.
Okay. Just in brief, short brief, just could you explain me, which topics we
You're
are going to
breaking.
cover in this all about? Yeah.
Sorry, you was breaking earlier,
Hello.
but I think your question is regarding course curriculum, right?
Yeah. Course
Yeah.
content,
So
all
we'll talk.
complete content. Yeah.
Yes, we will talk on this. Just allow me some time. And in today's session,
Sure.
we'll talk about the topics, which topics we are going to discuss in detail level.
Yeah. Sure. Sure. Thank you. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
All right. Okay. Anyone else would like to introduce about yourself? You can go ahead. Otherwise, we can start the session now.
Hi, are you audible?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah. My name is Yagnik Joshi. Actually, I'm in the automation field, and just I want to switch my field. That's why I'm in this session, and I really don't know about the anything on the SAP basis, but I want to start from the basic. So, uh, like uh, from the basic, I want to know everything about the SAP.
Got it. Sure, no worries. We are going to talk about from basic only. So today, actually, we will have a kind of overview session. You can say demo session, right?
Yeah.
And even though today also we'll talk about the basics, but once we start this regular session, in that case as well, we are going to start the things from the basics, or you can say from the scratch. So that
Okay.
I'll take care.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, team. So I think let's come to this topic now without wasting our time, because we do have the limited time, and I know it's weekend as well, right? You may also have some plan. So let's talk about this SAP Ariba. What is actually SAP Ariba, right? And why SAP Ariba becomes more popular? So many of you, like who is not aware about the SAP Ariba, you may have the questions like, what is the SAP Ariba? Whatever things we can do with the help of the Ariba, right? And why Ariba becomes very popular in the current market? Even you may have the questions like, what will be the future of the Ariba itself? Okay. And especially the peoples who are from the ERP background, right? They know about the SAP ERP solutions. So they know very well, like in ERP system also, we do have the SAP MM solutions, or we do have the SAP S4HANA solutions. And with the help of that as well, we can perform the sourcing and procurement activities. But still, SAP has given these Ariba solutions to the customer. So how will be the future of the Ariba? Either we have to be stick with the Ariba itself, or we have to move to the SAP S4HANA, or some other plan or some other tools will become in the future. So this kind of questions you may have, right? So I hope your questions will answer today itself. I'm going to give some light on all this topic itself, right? But let's talk about first what is the SAP Ariba. So from definition point of view, you can say SAP Ariba is a cloud-based procurement solutions. You can say cloud-based, or you can say the online tool. So Ariba is a kind of online platform, and with the help of that, customer and supplier both can interact to each other to perform their business activities. Okay. So whatever the business activities that actually we can perform with the help of the Ariba, let's try to understand with the help of the one quick example. Now, let's say as a customer, you have the requirement to purchase some product, and that product you never purchased from any of the supplier. So you are going to purchase that new product from first time. You never purchased in the past. Even you don't know from which supplier we have to purchase, how to purchase, whatever the term and conditions we have to follow. You don't have such kind of any informations here. Okay. So in that cases, how actually we have to initiate our procurement process. So we can just take one simple example here about this process. So in that cases, what we are going to do that we are going to follow this sourcing and procurement activity. And it's not about from the customer perspective. Even you can take the example about your personal purchasing as well. So whenever you are having such kind of requirement, you have to purchase something, right? So and this kind of product you are going to purchase first time. So in that case as well, you are going to follow the same process itself. Okay. So how actually we have to initiate the our process in that cases? So in that cases, in the first step, we have to actually search the supplier. And in this step, you are trying to find out the list of the supplier. And in this case, you can search online. You can just search local supplier. You can do some referral as well. So whatever the options you want to choose, you can choose. And accordingly, you have to just find out the potential supplier from which supplier you can buy this particular product. Okay. So once you find out this some list of the supplier, now let's assume while searching the supplier, you find out the 10 supplier informations, right? Then what you will do, you will basically try to perform the supplier onboarding process. And what is the meaning of the supplier onboarding process? Supplier onboarding means in simple, you can say creation of the supplier informations in your database. So whatever the database that you are having in your database, you will create the supplier informations. For example, we can take the example of our smartphone. So whenever you receive some kind of potential supplier, you will store their contact number, supplier name, supplier email address. This kind of informations you are storing in your smartphone database. So that means you have done the onboarding of the supplier. Okay. So now we received the 10 potential supplier informations and 10 potential supplier. We have done the onboarding as well. But if you see as a customer, you are not going to make the purchases from all these 10 supplier, right? And out of 10 supplier, you may purchase the product from one supplier or might be from two supplier. But thing is that how you can filter out, how you can sort one supplier or two supplier from out of 10, how you can do that. So for that, as a customer, we are following most favorite activities that is called as a supplier negotiation process. Okay. Or you can say quotation process as well. And with the help of this process, we are just requesting supplier to submit their quotations. You can do verbally, or you can drop some kind of email notes or some kind of text you can drop. And based on that, you are trying to capture the supplier quotations. And once you receive the supplier quotation, you will do the quotation evaluation. And whatever quotation you would like to finalize, you can finalize any of the quotations there, right? And once you finalize a quotation, then after that, we are finalizing our agreement as well. So whatever things that you discussed with the supplier and whatever the term and conditions that you agreed with the supplier or supplier agreed with you. So all those informations we have to finalize, right? And that's something we can do that with the help of the agreement. So we have to finalize the agreement with the supplier. Okay. So if you see till this process from searching of the supplier to contracting process, you have not made any kind of purchases with the supplier, right? But what actually you are doing here, so with the help of this process, you are just determining the supplier from which supplier you have to purchase the product, right? And once your supplier finalization will be completed, once your agreement will be confirmed, then after that, you will start the procurement process. And as part of the procurement process, you are going to place the order. Then the order will be routed to the supplier. And then with the reference of the order, supplier will send you the particular product. You have to receive the product. You have to receive the invoice and accordingly you have to make the payment, right? So this process usually we are following as part of the procurement process, right? So now overall, if you club this all this overall process, so we can say as part of the procurement process, we are actually following the sourcing and procurement process, right? And as part of the sourcing, we are just determining our supplier with the help of the supplier onboarding process, supplier negotiation process, contract process. So with the help of this, we are determining our supplier from which supplier we have to purchase the product. And after this, we are following the procurement activities. So that's why this overall solutions is called as a sourcing and procurement process. Okay. So this is the process that we are following as a customer in our purchasing process, right? So if customer they want to go with the SAP Ariba to perform their sourcing and procurement process, how actually they can do that? Okay. Or in other words, we can say that SAP Ariba has given the similar kind of solutions to customer as well. And with the help of that, customer can also perform their sourcing and procurement activities. Okay. So if you talk about this Ariba solutions perspective, so Ariba solutions are actually divided in two parts. One part is called as upstream, or you can say strategic sourcing as well. Second part is called as a downstream. Okay. So if you see as part of this upstream, we do have these three module. So first we can see we do have the Ariba supplier module. And with the help of this Ariba supplier module, customer can actually perform their supplier onboarding process. So as we discussed about the supplier onboarding process, right? So whenever customer, they have to use this Ariba solutions to perform the supplier onboarding process. SAP has given the Ariba supplier solutions, and that is actually called as supplier lifecycle and performance management. We'll talk in detail in coming session. And with the help of that, customer can perform the supplier onboarding process. So if you talk about the supplier onboarding process, supplier onboarding does not means only creating the supplier information in our database, right? So if you see apart from this, as a customer, we are doing the different kind of processes with the supplier, or we can say we are following the different kind of measures to manage our supplier. So in some cases, we are following the supplier qualification process. In some certain cases, we are following the preferred supplier process as well. Okay. So what is the supplier qualification process and preferred supplier process? You can take one simple example. Let's say you have to purchase the mouse, right? And you know very well, you can get the mouse online. You can purchase from local supplier as well. So let's say nearby, you do have the 4 to 5 supplier. And to purchase the mouse, you investigated the price 4 to 5 supplier, your nearby supplier. And out of this 4 to 5 supplier, one supplier, they have given the better price to you. And now you are purchasing mouse from that supplier. So in that cases, as a customer, you can say that supplier is become the qualified supplier in your cases. So that is called as a supplier qualification process. Okay. Even as a customer, we are following the preferred supplier process as well. Now, what is the preferred supplier process? We can take very layman example. Usually, I'm giving the same example in other session as well. So, if you see in our regular purchasing, we are purchasing a different kind of product, right? So, whenever we have to purchase something, so what we are doing, we have selected one shop or one supplier as a preferred supplier. And whenever we require to purchase the product, we are always preferring to go to that shop, that supplier location. We are purchasing from that shop itself. Even sometimes when you are sending someone else to purchase the same product, you are referring that please go to that particular shop. You can give the my reference as well if required, and then you can purchase the product. So now the question is that why you are doing like this? Why not you can purchase from other shop as well, right? So why you are doing like this? Because that particular supplier you have selected as a preferred supplier, and based on some certain criteria. So as a customer, whatever the criteria that you do have, accordingly, like you have selected that supplier as a preferred supplier. So like that, as a customer, whatever the different process.
Mr. Vikram, actually, your voice is unable to hear me. Hello, Mr. Vikram,
I
can you
believe
hear me?
he left the group.
Others are able to hear Mr. Vikram voice?
No.
Hey, sorry team. Now I'm audible. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah,
We
it's
can
okay.
hear.
Sorry, I think there was some small fluctuation in my internet. Okay. Okay, so I was talking about this, like a preferred supplier. I believe you got the preferred supplier concept, right? Can someone please confirm? Okay. Okay, then after that we can see we do have the Ariba sourcing module. So with the help of this Ariba sourcing module, and even if you say sourcing module is a very popular module in across all the Ariba solutions. The reason is that with the help of this Ariba sourcing solutions, as a customer, you can perform the different kind of negotiation process. Okay. So if you talk about this negotiation process, negotiation means, as I said, like quotation process. So as part of the quotation, it's not like that we are just only sending the request for the quotation to supplier. So in some cases we are doing like this, but apart from that, in some certain cases we are doing some kind of information negotiation, right? So if you are having such kind of scenario where you would like to collect some informations from the supplier, in that cases, we are preferring to go with the information negotiation. And even in some cases, we are following the competitive negotiation as well. What is this competitive negotiation? We can take a very simple example. In some cases, when you are doing some kind of purchasing, let's say you have to purchase the mouse, you are discussing with the one supplier, you're just inquiring about the price. What is the price of this mouse? Supplier mentioned $100. Then immediately you will respond to them like, why this high price you're offering? Because I checked with the other supplier, other vendor, they are offering only in the $80, $90. This kind of statement you are just adding there. Okay. So now the question is that, like why you have added this kind of informations, or you communicated this kind of information. So why you have done? Because you thought if I'll share one supplier price to this supplier, then it may create some kind of competitions and I may get some benefit. Okay, even though you are getting the benefit or you're not getting, or whatever the statement that you have communicated to supplier, that is true or not true, that's something you know. But your plan was to create some kind of competitions between the supplier, so I can take the benefit, right? So this is actually called as that live event, or you can say live auctions as well. So sometimes as a customer, we are doing this kind of negotiation process as well, and that's something we can do that with the help of the Ariba sourcing solutions. Okay. Then we do have the Ariba contract module, and with the help of this Ariba contract module, we can actually create the contract with the supplier. So whatever the term and conditions or the agreement that you finalized with the supplier, that's something you can create the contract with the help of the Ariba contract module. And then if you come to the Ariba downstream solutions, so with the help of this Ariba downstream solutions, as a customer, we can actually perform the procurement process. Okay. So we can actually perform the sourcing and procurement process with the help of this, right? So now overall, based on this understanding, you can say like this process, what we discussed earlier, this we can map with the help of this Ariba upstream and downstream solutions here. Okay. So this is something about this Ariba solutions. Now, in the next, we will talk about this licensing part or system architecture about the Ariba. But before going to talk about the system architecture, is there any questions or comments from anyone team? Am I clear to everyone?
It's clear, but you have some queries. Maybe it will be covered in the other topics.
Yeah, you can tell me, no problem, Ketan. Sorry, Sabir.
Yeah. Actually, so while we are making the request for quotation to the suppliers,
Mhm.
so if we have multiple products and we are get from different suppliers the quotation, so
Mhm.
the comparison and there is a like a pricing is there and delivery time is there and multiple terms and conditions are there, right?
Mhm.
So how we so compare in quotation comparison, so we can fix that criteria to get the
Okay,
right uh, yeah.
I got your question. So
Yeah,
yes, that is possible in Ariba. So this thing we'll discuss as part of the regular session. During
yeah,
sourcing session, we'll
yeah,
talk on this.
yeah,
Okay.
that's the reason
But yes,
I
this,
thought yeah.
yeah, yeah. But this is something possible. So this is part of design actually, right? Because see, as a customer, you would like to go with this kind of approach. Other customer they may have the different approach, right? But yes, overall we can say this is possible. And even if you while negotiating with the supplier, if you want to include the other cost term, that's something also we can do that. That is possible.
So in Ariba, we can get automatically that alerts and comparisons with all
Yeah, yeah,
areas, right?
right.
Okay.
Okay. Anyone else? Any questions here? Okay. Now let's talk about this licensing point of view, or we can say from the system architecture point of view, what different kind of system architecture you may see, like with the customer, right? So if you talk about from licensing perspective, so as a customer, now we can take a
Mr.
simple
Nupur,
example.
just one query, just small query. Uh,
Mhm.
so while we are making, we can maintain the contract, all contracts in Ariba with the supplier,
Yeah, we can do that.
with the terms and conditions, like uh, example, the supplier we have making agreement with him for 1 year. So what items we are going to buy from him and what is the target, yearly target we have to buy from him and what
Mhm.
type of discounts they are giving to provide us, like direct discount on that invoice, and they will give that payment discount also. They will give that turnover discount as well, and
Mhm.
like all the terms and conditions of that contract, so we can maintain the contracts as well for them. And as per the contracts, the system will make that our purchase order or what it may be that fund.
That's right. That's possible in the Ariba.
Yeah.
Ariba is offering the same thing.
Okay. So in regular classes, you are going to show all each and everything, right?
Yeah, see, each and everything in the sense, everything is, like a never ending, right? So whatever things that you asked, right, this kind of things we will see, right? But as I said, like, so if you talk about the specific requirement, right? So that's something is very difficult because that's a kind of client specific requirement and we have to design the system accordingly, right? But whatever the available as part of best practice, like as you ask about sourcing part, right? You want to include the different kind of costing as part of the quotation comparison. This will thing will see. We'll see how actually we have to include the additional pricing, discounts, term and conditions in the contract, or whatever the contract limit you want to define, all those things. So these are the topics we are going to discuss in day-to-day sessions.
Okay. So
Okay.
regular classes, so we can, if you have any queries on the base of topic, and we can, you will give that brief in that one, right?
Yeah, sure. If that is the part of the scope, definitely I'll tell you, I'll show you, right? Otherwise, if you are having some kind of custom requirement, right, that's something, if that's something not possible to show you, but at least I'll guide you how actually we can do that. That's something guidance I'll give to you.
Yeah, sure, sure. Thank you very much.
Okay. Okay. So I was talking about the system architecture, right? So if you talk about from the system architecture point of view, so if you see, like as a customer, we can take a simple example about the SAP ERP solutions. So now let's say you are acting as a customer and you are using this SAP ERP solutions from very long time. So you can say either you could have the SAP ECC or SAP S/4HANA, whatever, right? And if you see in SAP ERP solutions as well, we do have the sourcing and procurement options. So we can perform the sourcing and procurement activities in SAP ERP solutions as well. Okay. But if you see, so even though SAP ERP is doing really very good, very well, right? We do have the good market of the SAP ERP. But still, if you see, we are having some kind of challenging part in the SAP ERP system, right? And if we talk about in case of the quotation process, so whatever the quotation solutions is available in SAP MM or SAP S/4HANA, that is not up to the mark, and customer expectation is something more or something different as per this ERP solutions, right? So in that cases, as a customer, you are having these SAP ERP solutions, you are performing the sourcing and procurement activities. And for some specific cases, for some specific process, you want to go with SAP Ariba. So might be, let's say, as a customer, you want to go with only Ariba supplier solutions, or you want to go only with the Ariba sourcing solutions, or you want to go only with the Ariba contract module, or you can say you want to go only with the Ariba downstream solutions. So in that cases, as a customer, you may have the question, so can we purchase any of the individual Ariba module license, or do we have to take the subscriptions of the entire suite? Entire suite means you can say including upstream and downstream both. Okay. So this kind of doubt you will have. So even SAP made this licensing part very simple, right? They have given some package as well. So it is not necessary as a customer, if you want to take the, you want to implement the Ariba, you have to actually go with the entire Ariba upstream and downstream. It's not required. So you can actually purchase any of the specific module, whatever the module you want to purchase. So if you want to go with the supplier module, you can go with the supplier module. Or if you want to go with the Ariba sourcing module, you can go with sourcing, you can go with the contract, or even you can go with this only Ariba buying and invoicing solutions as well. Okay. So based on this, like particular license or whatever your customer they are going to implement, accordingly, you may have the different kind of architecture. And just to explain in better way, let me draw one simple diagram here, and I'll try to explain you in better way. So let's say here you do have the SAP ERP solutions. So we can say SAP ERP, or we can say SAP MM in very simple manner, right? Then here in the front end, you can take the example of any Ariba module or whatever the Ariba module or Ariba license name you want to take, you can take. Let's say Ariba sourcing, I'm going to say. Okay. So as a customer, you are having the SAP ERP, SAP MM solutions in the back end. And in the front end, you are going to only implement the Ariba sourcing module. So now how your system architecture will looks like in these cases. So in this case, if you see as a customer, you do have the provision. If you want to use this Ariba sourcing, so Ariba solution separately, you can use separately. And if you want to use the ERP solution separately, you can use. But mostly if you see customers, they are not preferring to use Ariba solutions separately as the standalone. If they want, they can do that. This kind of flexibility we do have. But usually customers are not preferring to use Ariba as standalone. And how they would like to use this Ariba solution? So they would like to use as part of the integration with SAP ERP solutions. Okay. And why they are expecting to have the integration? Because whatever the particular transactions they are going to perform in Ariba solutions, So we can take the example about the sourcing module here. So with the help of the sourcing, you are just going to perform the quotation comparison. And once you finalize the quotation, then after that, what you would like to do? So you may say either I would like to go with the contract or I would like to initiate the purchasing. But the question is that where you will do? You can't say in Ariba because you have not implemented the Ariba contract module. You have not implemented the Ariba downstream part. Then where you will do? So in that case, as a customer, you will expect I would like to do in backend SAP system. So in that cases, your expectation will be this quotation information. So what we have finalized, this information should come to the SAP ERP solutions, and in SAP ERP solutions, we will create the purchase order or will create the contract as per our requirement. Okay. So this kind of process that basically you are expecting as a customer. And even SAP has given this kind of flexibility as well. You can design your system in such a way. You can do the integration of the SAP ERP with Ariba solutions. And how we can do the integration? So for that, SAP has given one integration mechanism that is called as CIG. CIG stands for the Cloud Integration Gateway. All right. But CIG has been also renamed. Earlier, it was called as the Cloud Integration Gateway. But now, the name of the CIG has been changed. And now these days, it's called as Managed Gateway Spend and Network for Buyer. Okay. But still in business talk, we are calling as CIG only. So we have to actually implement the CIG in between of this SAP ERP and Ariba, right? And with the help of that, we can achieve the integration part. So in nutshell, if you summarize the overall system architecture, so you can brief your customer, they are having the backend system in as SAP ERP, and in front end, whatever the module that your customer they have implemented, you can take the name, and that Ariba system, Ariba solutions is integrated with SAP ERP solutions. And whatever data flow that something is needed from SAP ERP to Ariba or from Ariba to ERP, it's happening via the CIG itself. So this kind of system architecture that you may see in real time. Okay. Now, before coming for any question, one thing I would like to highlight here. So even though I gave the example about Ariba sourcing here, but you may see with some customer some specific module. Some customer you may see they have implemented only Ariba upstream, and even some customer you may see who has implemented the Ariba upstream downstream both. So the different module that you may see in Ariba system, and even some customer you may see who has implemented the Ariba upstream downstream both. So the different module that you may see in Ariba system, and even some customer you may see who has implemented the Ariba upstream downstream both. So the different module that you may see in Ariba system, and even some customer you may see who has implemented the Ariba upstream downstream both. So the different module that you may see in Ariba system, and even some customer you may see who has implemented the Ariba upstream downstream both. Got it? Or any questions from management team?
Uh, Hello.
Mhm.
Yes. Just one small question I have. Just like example, in my company, already I have implemented a S4 HANA module. Okay. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Sorry guys, I don't know what's happening today. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah. See, in my company, we implemented SAP S4 HANA, and we have implemented a SAP MM module. Okay.
Mhm.
So why we are going for Ariba, and what is the major differences? So we are going to Ariba, and what are the features are not available in SAP MM module, and what are
Okay.
the advantages? Yeah. So please could you explain us so we can
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
better understand. Yeah.
yeah. But let me ask one simple question. Do you know about the SAP MM or S4HANA?
Actually, I don't know. I know about the other ERP systems, but
Mhm.
SAP MM I didn't do that one. So just I want to know that major differences. And see, already we have in SAP all this what we are discussing already is available in the SAP MM. And what the
Yeah,
major difference? Yeah.
that's what. Okay, let me ask to team. Anyone knows about the SAP MM here?
Yes, I have experience in
Mhm.
SAP MM.
Okay, you do have, right?
Yeah, around 9 years.
Let me ask just few questions here, please don't mind. Okay. Can we do the live event, live auctions in the SAP MM as part of the RFQ?
No,
No, but in Ariba we can do that. Okay. I'll summarize, Shabir, in some time.
Yeah.
Just I'm giving some
Yeah. Please.
examples for understanding. Okay,
Yeah.
but in
Sure. Sure.
Ariba,
Sure.
in Ariba we can do that. In Ariba we can perform the live event, live auctions that we can do that. Now, second question
Okay.
is that can we perform this online procurement process? Can we track online the procurement process in SAP MM?
no.
But in Ariba we can do that. Okay. So this is just few examples I gave here. So if you see the major differences you can say SAP MM or S4HANA, that is the on-premise, even though we do have the cloud as well in HANA, but both are this on-premise, whereas Ariba is a completely cloud solution. So we can see I logged in Ariba with the help of the browser itself. And in these cases, it's not required to install any kind of, SAP GUI or any kind of third-party hardware, software. This kind of things are not applicable. So this is the major differences, you can say cloud solutions. But if you talk about from the process point of view, so we do have the lots of simplifications in the Ariba. As I gave you example, we can perform the live quotations activity with the help of the Ariba. That's something you can't do in the SAP MM. Even if you talk about the procurement process point of view, so in SAP MM, if you see actually the procurement process little bit lengthy, and whenever you have to create any kind of purchase request and purchase order, so we do have the different field, different screens we do have, right? But whereas in Ariba, these things are very simple. It's following the e-commercial site process. Just open the application, search the catalog, add to the cart, proceed to checkout. That's it. So like this, we can point out a list of the differences. We'll talk on this in more detail level once we'll discuss these Ariba solutions in detail level. But coming to Sabir, your questions, because of the cloud solutions and because of the simplified process, this is becomes more popular as compared to SAP MM or S4HANA.
Yeah, Mr. Vikram, actually for the cloud means the SAP S4 HANA also they are launching that Fury. In Fury also they have the cloud solution, right?
That we do have, but again, if you come to the process, right, if you just compare in terms of the process, then you can say the Ariba is more simple as compared to the S4HANA Fury applications.
Okay. Okay. This Ariba and the Fury is totally different, right?
Yeah, both are different.
Okay. 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 So while we are just doing the regular classes, please give the small things which are going to cover these topics. Just mention this is not under like SAP MM module, and this is the future, the one future like this. So we can also understand the same time.
Hmm. Yeah, just I'm going to talk about the next is a course curriculum only, right? So I'm just going to roll out now. So let me just cover this course curriculum and that may make some sense and answers your questions as well. So as I mentioned earlier, we are going to start our journey from the scratch, right? So today also we discussed about some basics. And once we'll start our regular session, so in the first session again, we'll talk about some basics itself. But as part of the basics, it's not like that. We are going to talk about as a business user point of view. We'll talk about, like about the system architecture in detail level, whatever the different kind of environment you can see that, right? And how basically we can authenticate the Ariba, how the Ariba dashboard looks like, what different kind of dashboard navigation you can do that we'll talk. Then after that, we'll talk about the Ariba supplier solutions, that is the SLP module. We'll discuss in detail level. And then after that, we'll talk about the Ariba sourcing solutions. And as part of sourcing solutions as well, we'll discuss in detail level different kind of event process. Even we'll talk about the guided sourcing as well. And we'll have the discussion on the Ariba supplier portal as well, how supplier they are going to participate in any of the quotation process that we'll discuss. And then we'll talk about the Ariba contract module, how actually we have to create the contract in SAP Ariba, what different process we have to follow, how actually we have to follow the contract term, that's something we'll talk. And then we'll talk about the Ariba procurement process also, how actually we have to perform the procurement activities with the help of the Ariba. Okay. Then next we'll talk about the guided buying. Guided buying is part of the, you can say like Ariba procurement solutions itself. So we'll talk about the guided buying. And then we'll talk about the CIG integration, how we can do the integrations of Ariba with SAP ERP system, what different kind of setup we have to do. That's something we'll talk. We'll talk about the configurations part as well, how to configure the different types of template, how to configure the approval flow, how actually we have to set up the master data, how we have to set up the users. So whatever the different configurations we have to perform, that we'll talk. And then after that, we'll talk about the reporting part, how actually we have to run the reports in Ariba. Okay. Then in the last session, we'll talk about the implementation overview as well. And as part of this implementation overview, so even in regular session, in day-to-day session, we'll see some list of the documents which actually we have to prepare while working on the implementation project. But in last of the session, we'll summarize all those things. So as Ariba consultant, what role actually we have to follow as part of the implementation, right? How overall implementation is going on, how to prepare some list of the documents. So all those things we are going to discuss as part of this implementation session. So this will be our overall roadmap, or we can say course curriculum, which we are going to discuss in our day-to-day sessions. Okay, team. So that's it from my side. Is there any questions, comments from anyone?
Will you cover any high priority issues or repetitive issues we face in the daily work in terms of
Yeah,
supporting?
yeah. We'll give some example. I'm not going to cover any kind of high priority or medium priority issues. I'll give some examples what kind of issues that you may face. That thing I'll cover. Okay.
So Vikram,
And
regarding this Ariba, they have standard documents like as per that customer requirement, we can design the documents as well, right?
We can do that. Yes.
We
But
can,
usually we're
we
not
can.
doing that. We are just following the standard document itself. In some
Okay.
exceptional cases, we are customizing. Otherwise, we are just following the standard documents what SAP has given.
Okay, so standard documents only. So, but in that documents also we can customize the fields, header, photos, and everything, the line, body lines, and everything, right?
You can do that. It's your call.
It's okay. Okay, we can customize it then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, team. Anyone else? Any questions here? All right. So thank you so much. Thanks for time.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Vikram. Thanks, Mohan.